Good morning, America. Just another day to rot in bed, hyper aware of everything wrong in the world. So many issues: genocide, starvation, homelessness, illiteracy, racism, and scariest of all, the climate crisis. So many issues: soil pollution, water pollution, coral bleaching, and dead zones in the ocean, rising carbon and heat levels. Heat, so many more issues: droughts, forest fires, hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, famine, disease. God, this is paralyzing. And for my class project, I'm supposed to make a film in under 3 minutes, tackle everything. We need entire economies, cultures, and civilizations to change. What could I possibly say in my 3-minute video for my final project which could solve these problems? I thought long and hard about this dilemma. I want to solve these problems, so I dove deep into what caused them. Braiding Sweetgrass and the American Chestnut are among a few of the books I've read which told the story of Earth before colonization. I learned of a gift economy. There would be no homeless person, as generosity was the currency. I learned of chestnut trees spanning from New York to Florida which dropped enough food on the ground to feed millions of people. I heard of 100-pound salmon filling and erupting entire rivers. I heard of million bison roaming, whose populations were carefully cultivated to never go extinct. No ecological collapse, no lack of food. How is this possible? How did it change? Well, colonization. I understand I won't have enough time in my explanation to dive into the horrors that cause the problems of the day, and blaming modern issues on colonization is a stretch, but bear with me. Here's the story of our world. The human race, with only a few billion globally, lived in balance with nature for tens of thousands of generations before colonization began around 1500. A group of settlers enforcing monocrop agriculture and toxic masculinity on many societies that were thriving with hundreds of different food sources and a lush, healthy ecosystem to support them. They strayed from the way of life that was kept for 190,000 years and gave birth to a monster that would go on to rape and pillage the entire planet. They started by conquering others with sword and shield, Romans destroying pagan communities, the Library of Alexandria, mass genocide of medicine, women, and shamans. Some groups invented firearms in the form of fireworks, which was then used first by the Spanish and French troops, then every major European country to rapidly violate and dominate the entire planet. They decimated every great culture of people who knew how to live harmoniously with nature and taught the offspring that it was advancement. They forced all the children of every culture around the world, but a very small few, to conform to their way of life. In the founding cities of this domination culminated more technology that would enable humans to multiply at an exponential rate. In addition to exponential population growth, these technologies devastate the balance of Earth and powerfully reinforce the dominance of Western colonization. Only after hundreds of years of ruthless whitewashing of history is it beginning to be discussed amongst the majority of the victims of this great tragedy that their ancestors lived in unimaginable abundance and prosperity. All but a select few, and anyone who's read Braiding Sweetgrass, know the truth of human civilization. The rest believe that hunter-gatherers only suffered from starvation and disease, both untrue until monocrop agriculture, and that with colonization and the Industrial Revolution came a new era of peace and prosperity for humankind. Almost everyone believes them. 97% of Earth's ecosystem is no longer intact. Children's lifetimes today have the greatest potential for world salvation than any other lifespan of humans ever. We can't solve a problem with the same mindset that caused it. Therefore, my solution to all the world's problems is dissecting every aspect of our minds and culture to identify colonist narratives and intentionally replace them. Welcome to Rejecting Colonial Witnesses.
The consequences of climate change stem from the disruption of natural systems. The extraction of resources and impositions of industrial models further fuel environmental degradation. To address these issues, we must prioritize indigenous knowledge, transition to renewable energy sources, and adopt sustainable practices. But equally as important is the rewriting of cultural narratives that perpetuate harmful ideologies and reinforce unsustainable behaviors. By acknowledging the historical roots of climate change and embracing equitable solutions, we can forge a path towards a sustainable future. In reimagining the classic game of Mafia, we can explore the power of narratives to shape our perceptions and inspire change.
The revolution starts with us now.
But anyways,
Let's change.
well, that's what someone who is the orb would say. Someone back me up on this.
Oh my gosh!
There's some more rounds. Yeah, let's do one more round.
Feel the change. The change. Feel.